Nexans Roadshow on the impact and challenges of emerging technologies has been to Lyon and Eindhoven, and it's on its way to Frankfurt, but today it's in London.
Technology requirements and pressures on bandwidth are increasing at an increased rate. So there are some challenges ahead for us all, I think.
It's really going to shake up the whole industry.
The message here is that environmentally there's a huge change afoot, and we need to understand how we can best support that.
Obviously, being in the public sector, the resources are being reduced, squeezed all the time, so we're having to do more for effectively less.
Our biggest challenge is making sure that the networking side of things can cope with the burst and influx of applications and bandwidth as the networks change and evolve.
I think we've reached a point in our environment where short-term needs are now taking precedence over the longer-term needs, and I think there are a number of people in the industry now beginning to get a bit concerned that that's really not good for the longer-term future.
The sheer amount of electronic traffic that's flowing from mobile devices, home PCs, e-commerce is creating this huge demand for more bandwidth.
If you look at demand lines and projections, the figures that we're getting for the core networking sector, which is the metropolitan broadband requirement, is trending faster than Moore's Law is allowing us to fulfill.
The idea that the growth of that traffic is running at a pace even faster than Moore's Law, and the traffic in 2015 will be 100 times the traffic in 2007. You need to look at your organisational needs on an individual basis to make sure, like you've got enough power, like you've got enough bandwidth. You need to look at all of these things and project into the future.
If you want to pre-cable a data centre for life with structured cabling, with copper fibre mix, and you get it wrong, you probably will underestimate your bandwidth needs for the future. I think if anything, you need to aim high. If you want long life and stability in the data centre and lots of reuse and multiple generations, you've got to aim high, so you've got to go for the best.
The challenge for people building a data centre right now is to reduce their electricity consumption by around 5% a year, not just the once, but this year and every year until 2050.
I think the main challenge ahead is to really understand new technology that's going to really reduce energy consumption, become more efficient, reduce spend that people have, and we're just coming out of a recession. Money is very, very important. Yes, though is the environment, but ultimately it's about understanding how we can use and facilitate new technology to ensure that we get the most out of our IT spend.
You really have got to get a grip with changing architectures in the data center, and also the need to be green and the need to save power and stay cool. And the cabling actually affects that. So it's not a question of simple, dividing the solution between copper and fiber based on bandwidth needs. You can actually choose this way or that depending on how much energy you want to save.
This is why data centres are a particular challenge. 2007, 3% of the UK's power was being used in data centres. We've heard all of the growth that these fantastic technologies are going to bring us. This is expected to increase to 6% by 2020. But the data centre market is about the only market where the consumption is increasing. This is unsustainable, and I'll show you why.
We don't even know if in the next 15 years we will have enough energy to power these devices, because of the fact that our power infrastructure in the UK is actually being diminished.
So it's all about trying to educate your customers on how those charges are going to be, I suppose, rolled down to them, and help them understand what we're trying to do as a business and as an organisation to help them save money by getting involved in different schemes that can help us reduce our costs that will ultimately help them reduce theirs.
Designing a physical infrastructure that's going to last and be flexible enough but won't cost the earth is today's challenge.
If you want to face these challenges in the future, if you want 40-gig migration, if you want to deal with energy saving, then you have to put in an infrastructure today that's going to cater for those needs tomorrow, and that does cost more money.
And we're trying to put products in place which support that environment, that help people initially just help people monitor their energy consumption, because obviously until you have a baseline you can't possibly know when you've made an improvement. So the old adage that you can't improve what you can't measure.
I think the industry has to give this a lot of thought, and balance multi-mode versus single mode, copper versus fibre, screened versus unscreened. I mean, my own view is that we ought to be using the best copper cabling that we have available. Recently standardized Cat7a, I think will do a very nice job and have lots and lots of life.
You save money today and it costs you much more money to put it right in the future. It's the classic thing about, it's a pound's worth of investment now is going to cost you £3 or £4 to make in 4 or 5 years' time, when you have to undo some of the work that you've done. So we're trying to encourage people into taking a longer term view.